Welcome. Cannibal Holocaust was released in 1980 and was directed by Ruggero Deodato, and it's about an anthropologist who leads a rescue team to find out what happened to a film crew somewhere in the Amazon rainforest. Okay, so to get this review started, I do have to say, I haven't watched the movie. I know, it's surprising. I haven't watched the movie, and I know you guys are wondering, well, how are you going to do a review about it? Well, I've got that handled, but before we start talking about a review, I do want to talk about something that's very important to me, and it's about directors doing stuff that isn't very good to their cast and crew, because I don't like that, and I don't like supporting films where the director is a very bad person, and Cannibal Holocaust is the case! Screw you, Ruggero Deodato, you are a terrible person! So now you guys are probably thinking, how is he a terrible person? You know, what did he do? Well, let me tell you what he did, because I wrote a little list so that I didn't forget anything. So let's first start off with the fact that in this film, they kill live animals. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, you know, that probably isn't too bad of things he could do. Well, he kills a bunch of protected species, including a monkey, turtle. He kills pigs that he brought with him to set. He just kills so many live animals. A tarantula. I think he also kills a snake. Live animals, like, you know, they're alive. The actors and cast people had to kill them on set. Yeah, that is very terrible, and apparently some of the cast and crew were very much so pleading with him not to kill the animals, but he did anyway, so good for you, Ruggero. Another thing I want to talk about, besides Ruggero killing, of course, animals, live, protected species of animals, and besides him being terrible to his crew in that regard, let's talk about him being terrible in other ways, including a sex scene where one of his female cast members did not want to show her breasts on in the movie, to where he humiliated her in front of everyone and screamed at her until she would finally film the scene. If that doesn't tell you how great a director is, I don't know what will. And to add on top of that, he was underpaying his cast and crew, and probably the worst thing that he does is a bunch of unpaid native actors have a scene where they are in a burning hut. And of course, this is real. They have a burning hut and these native characters in the hut. And he doesn't give them any protection for themselves, any gear to help protect themselves. No. They have to be in a burning hut without anything to protect themselves. And they aren't being paid for what they are doing. That is awful, and I'm at a loss for words of how he could be able to get away with something like that. How, I don't know. It's such a terrible thing, and for stuff like that, I cannot support a film by watching it on Amazon or wherever it is. Even if it's free, he still gets a portion. I cannot support myself. I could not support him by watching this movie. And I do want to say that this film has a very good message about Western ignorance and about the media and everything like that, which is all fine and dandy. But at what cost did it take to get this message? You have a movie about immorality, but to get that immorality, you are being immoral yourself. Do you not see how that's hypocritical? You have a message about anti-exploitation media, but yet you are making an exploitative film. You are the definition of hypocritical. So for those reasons alone, I could not watch this movie. I refuse to. I will not watch it. but I know you guys probably want a review, so I had my two friends from the Three Strangers podcast, which if you haven't seen it, link down below in the description. It's also going to flash on the screen. I had them watch it. We are going to be talking about it on a podcast about found footage. This is coming out before the podcast, so be on the lookout for that podcast. But let's start with Nick and what he thought about this movie.
Cannibal Holocaust in 1980 is gross, obscene, and everything in between. Deodato created a movie about the insane things that people will produce to make money by ironically, unnecessarily, and disturbingly exemplifying it himself, both in production and on camera, and in just about every aspect of this film. I would even argue that it's not even a found footage film, so I don't know why it gets that credit of being the first one. It's just a movie about found footage, not composed entirely so. So there you go. Don't watch it. I give the movie a 1.25 out of 10 for somehow creating effects that look real, horrifically real, with a low budget. Congrats.
Thank you, Nick, for that review. I'm recording this before I've watched the review, so there isn't much I could add or do anything with. And also, I haven't seen the movie, so there's not much I could argue with. But again, thank you, Nick, for giving your review. And now let's move on to Bill's review.
Hey everyone, it's Bill from the Three Strangers podcast, recording a short little review on behalf of Ryan and Flash Forward Reviews on the 1980 film Cannibal Holocaust. Now, to keep things succinct, I'll try to be quick. Cannibal Holocaust is probably best understood as an exploitation film. Not only an exploitation film in the fact of its widespread, abusive against the, ethnic peoples, displayed in the movie, and of animals. Gosh, 6 animals were really just killed, tortured to death for this film. It's also understood as an exploitation film in that it sort of exploits the audience into thinking that it is basically a snuff film. And while that film, while that term shouldn't be taken lightly, I believe that the real problem is that while it's touted as a found footage horror film, technically there is footage within the film that is presented as real. And it's sort of like the documentary Green Inferno within the movie Cannibal Holocaust. And I know that there was a lot of people at the time that believed that the movie was real. And I think that's, while a slight testament to the fact that they really stretched their $100,000 budget to make things look as real as possible, it also just, goes to show you that the production staff and the director Deodato just really didn't have much regard for the fact that what they were creating was something that was so shocking and so exploitive for the time as to fall into infamy even to this day. Now while I think the film overall isn't that great, beyond its moral and everything else implications, the found footage parts are actually quite effective. And if you can get past the gore and the pure brutality and everything else associated with it, it's definitely an interesting watch, if for nothing else other than the first ideas of the use of found footage in a relatively mainstream film. So yeah, give it a watch if you're have an easy stomach. I think if I could go back, I'd probably watch the non-animal cruelty cut, especially with anyone that's seen the film knows the famous turtle scene. Not gonna be able to wipe that from my mind anytime soon. Anyway, Bill out.
Thank you, Belle, for your review as well. I really appreciate it, and thank you guys so much for being in this video. In terms of my grade, I'm gonna give it a fuck you, Ruggero Deodato, out of 10. And I do not recommend it, and I think they also would agree that they don't recommend it, unless they did recommend it, which I don't think they did. If I know them, I don't think they did. Hopefully they didn't, but if they did, we're gonna have some words. So thank you everyone for watching this sort of discussion as well as a review for the movie. This was something different, and it was just the fact that I could not bring myself to watch or support this movie, to why I wanted to have more of a discussion, but have other people still review it for those people who want to review. Again, thank you everyone for watching. I'm going to go back to watching my friend Hurley Games on Twitch TV, which, if you don't know him, you should check him out. He comes out with fire content. He plays FIFA, and we've been watching Pokemon X and Y in his stream, and it's been amazing. So link down below for Hurley's Twitch channel and his YouTube channel, because he does make YouTube content as well. Yeah. Be on the lookout for more reviews in the future, but let's flash forward to the next review.